Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. It's a huge week for this show because we're going to hit 1,000 interviews with tech leaders, startup founders, sport teams, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and even the occasional celebrity who've all come on here to share how technology has transformed their life, their business, or even an entire industry. So keep those virtual voicemails coming over to me via techblogwriter@outlook.com or Neil C. Hughes on Twitter, and I will play them on the 1,000th episode in just a few days. But today, I'm bringing you this podcast live from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Why? Well, I'm here covering the MagentoLive Europe event. What is MagentoLive, I hear you say? Well, it's hosted by Magento, no surprises there. But MagentoLive is a complement to the annual Imagine conference, which is in Vegas. But it's also an opportunity to discover the latest Magento news, join the conversation about commerce and e-commerce trends, and of course network with knowledgeable community members that might just help you grow your business and take it to the next level. And it's been a big year for Magento too, because last year Magento were famously acquired by Adobe for a cool $1.68 billion. But that was last year. Now we're getting to the cool stuff. Are they better together? And what can Adobe and Magento accomplish together that neither could ever accomplish apart? That's the kind of thing that excites me. And also, what can we expect from e-commerce at the Magento event in Amsterdam? And that is pretty much why I'm here. And Jason Woosley, Vice President of Commerce at Adobe, joins me in Amsterdam to talk about the work that they're doing and the challenges that they've overcome, and also why he's so optimistic about B2E, business to everyone. But enough scene setting from me. Come and join me in Amsterdam now, where you can be a fly on the wall in a conversation with me and Jason Woosley. So a massive warm welcome back to the show, Jason. But can you tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are and what you do for anybody that's missed our previous conversation?
Absolutely, Neil. Thanks for having me on. My name is Jason Woosley. As you mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Commerce for Adobe, coming over from the Magento acquisition, and excited to share some news to you today about the MagentoLive Europe event.
And at Magento Imagine in Vegas back in May, I watched Gary Spector shoot up through the stage like a rock star and also saw you deliver a keynote with such passion that I've never seen before, followed by flying above the crowd like a superhero. So I'm curious, how are you going to top that in Amsterdam this week?
Oh, Neil, I'll tell you what, I think I may have peaked in that moment. I don't know that there's any topping coming down from the ceiling. That was both terrifying and actually very exciting. But, I think this year the momentum is going to be around our focus on mid-market. So, during the most recent earnings call with our CEO, Shantanu, he discussed, that there was a tremendous growth opportunity that he saw in our SMB and mid-market space for the digital experience business at Adobe. And that's a shift in thinking that's actually incredibly exciting. So what we're doing this year is really, bringing together a commercial business under Gary Spector's leadership that combines the Marketo and Magento and the other kind of mid-market motions within the digital experience business at Adobe to kind of really align to delivering value and optimizing the offerings for that market. So we're incredibly excited about how we're going to start being able to offer some of these enterprise-grade capabilities down market into smaller sized businesses and growing businesses. Adobe's got a terrific heritage in that space with our Creative Cloud and our Document Cloud product portfolios. So on the digital experience side, we're really excited about, helping merchants that have essentially the same needs regardless of size. They want to create that incredible experience for their shoppers, and we want to make sure that we're able to help them do that across a broad spectrum of touch points. So I think it's going to be a really terrific show, coalesced around this incredible mid-market opportunity and what Adobe Digital Experience can do for kind of these smaller businesses and growing businesses in that smaller space.
And there was a lot of excitement amongst Magento brands and merchants when you announced Amazon Sales Channel extension for Magento Commerce and Magento Open Source back at Imagine in Vegas. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is coming to Europe too. So what can customers expect from this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So our announcement back in Imagine was around North America, and we've seen terrific adoption there. We're incredibly excited to announce that we'll be rolling it out to Europe broadly this coming year, starting with the UK, available immediately. And that's going to be a terrific benefit as, when we open up these new markets, they're available to merchants in any market. So the ability to post now, not just on the North American, Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and Amazon.mx, but also now being able to post onto Amazon.co.uk just provides an extra, layer of flexibility and really a whole new geography to go attach their products and services to. So we're incredibly excited about bringing these things to market. We'll be, as I mentioned, bringing it to the broader European community over the coming year. And really, as Amazon becomes an irrefutable force and something that simply has to be acknowledged in one way or another, the channel is simply too broad and too well ingrained in shoppers' mind to ignore now. We think that bringing these tools that make it very easy to participate in those marketplaces is essential to kind of a modern merchant experience. So we're extremely excited about this offering, and we're going to be continuing to roll this out across multiple geographies as we go forward.
And just to put that into perspective, I read recently that Amazon said that their Prime Day this year was the largest shopping event in its Amazon history. That stat alone must mean that every business cannot afford not to be on Amazon. So how does the Amazon sales channel actually remove the barrier to entry for Magento merchants, would you say?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and that's a key part of the value proposition. Right? It's no secret that our consumers today, they're hyper-connected, and they're engaging with your brand in more and more touch points. It's just a proliferation of intersection between your brand and the consumer. And this applies not only to how they shop, but how they discover when they're browsing online at work or on a smartphone, checking out products in the store, the post-sale experience, and ultimately, where they choose to click the buy button, whether it's on, a brand's own channel or through a marketplace, it's still an absolute vote of confidence for the brand and a touch point you simply have to be at to be able to power that transaction. So in terms of bringing down barriers, this is a very, very easy opportunity for Magento merchants to take portions of their catalog, really customize the experience that they'd like to provide to these online marketplaces, and then really use that as a new touch point and an opportunity to create a relevant brand experience. So it's it's a terrific way to get quickly going in a bilateral communication format. Right, we talk very seamlessly between these two products, and allow that catalog to be, an extension of your brand on the marketplace. And that's really, a tough thing to do without, software that makes it super easy. So again, this is an area where, we think it gives our merchants a real leg up and an opportunity to go participate in these marketplaces in a brand-centric and a very focused way.
And it does seem that we're surrounded by the personalisation of everything. It's just surrounding us everywhere we look here. Netflix knows what we want to watch. Spotify knows what we want to listen to. Our podcasts know what kind of podcast we like to listen to. And that's increasing our expectations. So one thing that really stands out to me from what I've heard so far is the product recommendations feature, and also people wanting to get their hands on this early access program. So can you tell me a little bit more about the benefits of Magento Commerce, product recommendations, and also how they can get involved on that early access program?
Yeah, so this is a terrific story of the better together scenario, right? This is the opportunity for Magento merchants to now take advantage of Adobe's incredible investment in data science and the Sensei capabilities of providing a machine learning-backed product recommendation engine is really going to be an incredible step forward. We've done, a tremendous amount of research that shows that, using relevant product recommendations alone, when executed well, can result in an increase in sales of up to 30% for retailers. And for multi-brand marketplaces like Amazon, product recommendations are even more important and drive as much as 35% of revenue. So there is a very clear line between the efforts that we put into this product and the value that it actually delivers. So beginning in January of next year, you mentioned the early access program. We'll be allowing merchants to kind of engage with the product recommendation feature and start to drive those capabilities forward as we bring a full market offering to bear early next year. This will be an API first driven, SaaS-based, machine learning, artificial intelligence driven. This is really a terrific opportunity for us to bring all of that terrific behavioral data together with transactional data. This is the story that I've wanted to tell for my entire career, and it is really terrific to actually start to see these things come together in such a meaningful way. And this is really just the beginning for us. I mean, product recommendations, I think, is a terrific start. But, as we start to explore the capabilities of, bringing to bear these kind of intelligent services into the merchant landscape and really enhancing the shopper experience, we see incredible opportunity across the board.
And a few moments ago, you did use the phrase, we're better together. And it's so glad to hear that, because I think from what I've been reading in the press, because ever since the announcement was made about the acquisition, there was a lot of people asking a lot of questions. But what I've been seeing here is Magento seems to be delivering a significant return on investment for Adobe, as revenues for Adobe's Customer Experience Cloud, which includes Magento e-commerce technology, increased by an incredible 34% in the fiscal third quarter, as total revenue increased by 24%, which is just phenomenal. I mean, do those figures surprise you?
Well, we're actually humbled and honored to be a part of Adobe's journey and the success that they've enjoyed, post acquisition. It has been a really terrific experience. We've made a lot of progress internally. It's been a little over a year now, and we've made significant alignment in terms of internal organizational structure, in terms of being able to adopt best practices across different departments, and really to be able to leverage all of the incredible benefits and investment that Adobe has made in their corporate enterprise. They have just a terrific portfolio of capabilities that are now available to us, and I think we've now kind of adopted that in a way that the cultures have lined up. Certainly the business objectives are very, very well in alignment, and so we've been I think, as you mentioned, just delighted to be part of a terrific growth story within the digital experience business, and we'll continue to help customers lead the way in terms of experience-driven commerce and experience management in general. So we're it's been a incredibly fun opportunity, and the growth has been, I think, just a byproduct of really treating our customers well and listening to their needs and delivering on that value proposition.
And like you said, it is a fantastic growth story, and you've had so much success, had so much progress, but equally a lot of changes in that as well. And it's not as easy as you guys make it look. So I've got to ask, what were your biggest challenges in getting the Magento Adobe product or service together and getting something that is actually the right fit for the market?
Yeah, that's a terrific question. I think when you start looking at challenges, it's really about, kind of coalescing around a common objective, right? When we start to think about our customer at the center of our product portfolio, it actually makes it much easier to have a conversation around delivering value across capabilities that might be organized, disparately within Adobe, and specifically looking at kind of our content experiences versus our commerce experiences, and then thinking about all of the demand gen and marketing orchestration opportunities that we have. How do we bring that together into a comprehensive story that really it's cohesive, it's seamless, and delivers value across every step of the journey? And that's again the place where Adobe has really I think put their flag in the ground here for the DX business is, we actually service every single step of that customer journey, right? Really talking all the way from, awareness and discovery through the post transaction sale and treatment. So we think we've got a really, terrific offering that really empowers businesses to go reach their customers in meaningful ways.
And something that's always stood out about at Magento is that passionate open source community. And there was a lot of questions at the time when you were first acquired if that community would survive. But I think anyone that was at the Magento Imagine event in Vegas would testify that you spoke incredibly passionate in Vegas about your commitment to the Magento community. But for people that wasn't there and was unable to attend in Vegas, if we do have anyone listening from the Magento community, is that a message that you'd want to send out to them in this podcast about them, or any fears that they might have had?
Well, absolutely. And this is, again, it's an opportunity to speak directly to that community, because I promise they are listening. They are always paying attention and trying to read the tea leaves. And, my message is the same message that we've had from the very beginning, right? This is we're here only because our community believes in us, and we're a meaningful part of that community. We're in no ways capable of doing anything besides encouraging this community to grow. And the human compassion within this community, and it is something that I am incredibly passionate about. But it's an amazing phenomenon. We've got teams that have been working to really help make this Adobe Better Together story a reality. They've been doing incredible work on the Adobe stock integration, where we're bringing the capability of thousands of media assets that are at your fingertips as a Magento site developer and merchandiser. So it is incredible what these guys are actually able to do. These fine men and women that are out there, coding and contributing back and making sure that the product is better for everyone. And we try to honor the capabilities that they contribute back by doing our own, shepherding of that product. And so one of the other areas that we're extremely excited to announce at this conference is, the ability to improve our search offering and make the entire open source community have direct access to some enhancements that are coming that should really make the search experience much better for all Magento merchants. So we're continuing to make that investment. We as I said, we're always going to be at the behest of this community. We listen as closely as we possibly can through just about every channel that they're willing to talk to us on. We'll continue to make this ecosystem an incredibly profitable place for them to be, and an incredibly, prosperous place for them to be from both the, financial and knowledge base. It's an incredible thing, and it's something that we just have to make sure that we are continuing to invest in, that we continue to drive, as much of our innovative capabilities down market into that open source community as we can, because we have been incredibly well served by them, and I hope we are doing a terrific job and returning the favor.
Fantastic. And through the integration between Adobe and Magento Commerce, you set out to make every experience shoppable. But I'm curious, what's your primary focus going to be for 2020 and grand vision for experience-led commerce? I appreciate you probably can't share too much, but is there anything you can?
Yeah, the focus for 2020 really is going to be around continuing the product development of the B2C, our B2B, and our hybrid use cases, right? We've got this, I think, rare opportunity, and in fact, we're so well positioned to be able to help businesses as they broaden their perspective from either B2C specific or B2B specific into a hybrid or what you'll hear Shantanu refer to as B2E, which is business to everyone. And we're really excited to be part of that transformation. So we'll continue our investment there. And of course, we'll continue to extend Adobe's enterprise-grade application down market to bring modern infrastructure to the SMB and mid-market business, and really make sure that digital capabilities are accessible to businesses of every size. It's a brand new charter for Adobe, and something that we're going to have a lot of emphasis and really look forward to creating a lot of opportunity for businesses in 2020 with these sets of capabilities.
And for anyone listening that can't be in Amsterdam this week for the Magento event, I believe in Vegas next year, it's going to be the same time as the Adobe Summit, isn't it? You guys are at Caesar's Palace, Adobe at Venetian, I would imagine. And those tickets are available now, aren't they? Is that right?
Yep, those tickets are available now. Registration is open. We're extremely excited to bring everything together. It is going to be a digital experience mega conference like no other. You'll have of course, the Adobe Summit content, the Magento Imagine content, and Marketo content, all co-located and kind of one, giant little area of Las Vegas, starting to actually take over the town a little bit. I think it's going to be just a fantastic show. So we're very excited about that.
Excellent. Well, before I let you go, could you just remind the listeners of where they can find you guys online, find out more details about the events, your latest news, and also contact your team if anybody does have any questions after listening to the conversation today?
Absolutely. Magento.com is home for all of that information. We keep that up to date, has our blog on it, as well as all of our contact information, and we'll be bringing all the information from the show directly to that channel.
Excellent. Well, there's so many great phrases you've used today. Business to everyone. I think that is so important now. I think everyone's sick of hearing, what are you, B2B or B2C? Everything's out the window now, and I think everything's up for grab.
Yeah, I agree. Those lines are artificial.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wish you the best of luck for the future. Have a great summit. I'm going to be watching from the wings today to find out what you're going to be doing and how you're going to overshadow your previous performance. But as always, big thank you for coming on, Jason.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again, Neil, for your time, and looking forward to our next chat.
Like I said in the interview there, B2C, B2B are all imaginary lines. We now take our customer expectations from home and are taking them into the office and demand those exact same experiences. And ultimately, any business deal is between people. So for me, it's time we started saying more people to people and business to everyone, and saying this much more often. So that's the big takeaway from me and my conversation with Jason today. And also, yes, there will be changes along the way, but Jason remains incredibly passionate about that Magento open source community. And for me, sitting on the outside looking in, it sounds like everyone is invited along for the ride. If you're a member of the Magento community and have different ideas or have got different insights or just want to share your views, please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, and there's an open invitation for you to come on here too. Or just have me read your email or tweet, whichever takes your fancy. But it's time for me to wander the show floor here at Magento Live and see if I can convince anybody else to come on the podcast. So wish me luck, and hopefully I'll have another guest waiting for you tomorrow morning. So thanks for listening as always, guys, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.